you ready to discover who you came here to be? Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. Human Design is a system and a tool that is here to empower you and show you your greatest potential. Come learn with us and discover who you really are. Hi friends, Krystle here. New year and new you, and boy, do we have some new tools for you to help you transform your life into the one you have always dreamed of. We have some new ways for you to connect with us outside of the show. So we have a free guide on tips and tricks to honoring your strategy and authority. We also have a language manual to your true self to help you understand the key terms in human design and how to apply them to reading your human design chart and also to your life. And we are so happy to announce doors are now open for the Cosmic Community, which is a no commitment or 5-month commitment package to connecting with us over in our private Facebook group. You will have the chance to connect with Leah and myself each month with our premium episodes through our Program Plus monthly forecast. There's also weekly aura energy updates, weekly tarot card pulls connected to a human design gate, monthly market shares for fellow entrepreneurs to share their work, and exclusive bonus content you will not be getting anywhere else from us. Come join the Cosmic Community to understand how to utilize the transits to your advantage and have a safe space to learn, grow, and connect. And we also have our children's class called Nurture Your Child Through Their Design. And our most popular classes are our variable mini classes, which are bite-sized, self-paced audios and guidebooks on the first 2 transformations. And if you want to stay connected with some education and love from us, join our email list and check out our website, which you can find that and every offer I just discussed down below in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you over on our next episode. Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. I'm Krystle.
And I'm Leah.
And this is the podcast you've been waiting for. I don't know how long to go. I really need to hear the music at this point because sometimes the transition and then at the end, I'm just like, oh, that was not even remotely close.
Sometimes we go a little bit longer too. Like, I don't know how many
so I never know when you're going to cut it. But anyways, we need to get Dave, honestly, just to make the music. He made a decent one that I need to see. I need to listen to again. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe the next one that people hear, things will be different. I don't know. Since we are kind of, I don't know if it's not technically rebranding, but we're reframing this portion of the podcast. So maybe we just need to, it's time. Maybe it's just time.
Yeah, feels like it.
I feel like after the eclipse, we're all kind of like, well, we're actually recording, just so everybody knows, we are recording during the eclipse. The eclipse just actually happened for us. So we're in the energy of the eclipse, but it feels different. I feel like a lot of shifts need to change. I finally got the message yesterday, the response to completely change this room. I don't like the setup of this room at all. Obviously, I keep saying I'm going to move my desk, but for me to move my desk means I have to move. I have a day bed that I meditate on. I have to move that to here and switch places, and they're both very heavy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to ask for help.
You had the desk flipped around for a short period of time.
Well, no, the majority, the majority. I just turned the desk this way just a couple months ago. I'm not sure. Somewhere like maybe two to
Oh
three
yeah.
months.
But yeah, that you're right. Yeah.
The
And then it
other
went,
way was there for like
but it
the
went
last
back and
year.
then, yeah.
I never turned it. No, I never turned it back. Sometimes I'll just sit on the other side. Like if we're doing classes, I'll just sit
Gotcha.
on the other side so that I have the window
Yeah.
because this window is super annoying. But I originally I turned it because I liked the idea of having this, but
Hmm.
it's not working. It's too dark. I need to get one or two more ring lights. I know it looks a
You
little
need
dark
like a
right now.
whole
I just need
stuff.
like 50 ring lights and like a whole professional setup here.
Yeah.
So, anyways, how are
Enough
you
about
doing?
enough about our ring light situation. I'm good. I'm definitely feeling the eclipse energy. I'm not doing great with my health. I have like I'm not terrible. I shouldn't say that. I just have a
Oh,
cold. And
oh,
then
yeah, you said that.
I had my imaging done for my shoulder, so I'm waiting to hear from my surgeon for that and just kind of just taking it day by day. It's not I can't worry about it until I hear from him, so I'm
Right?
just continuing to do things. Got the kids home on vacation this week and
You do? Is
yep,
it spring break?
it's spring break here in Maine. Maine and New Hampshire go spring
Late.
break late and then no, I'm sorry, Maine and Massachusetts and then New Hampshire is next week.
Oh,
Super late.
we North Carolina does it really early. I'm like, you guys realize it's still pretty cold. We need to let it warm up a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like last month or
crazy.
whatever. So, but then I mean, they're almost done for the summer. It's
Mm,
almost like I know like we just entered spring, but spring goes by so fast. I feel like, you
it
know,
does. Yeah.
I feel like we
We're
just
we're
always
in school
settle.
until almost July here because of the
That's
snow days and stuff.
crazy.
It's mental. I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. It's
Ugh,
not a very long summer break for the kids anyway, but
no.
oh well.
There's a school here, a local school that does year-round school.
Whoa. So they
They
must
it's a right
how
it's like a right it's not like a private school or anything. It's a right it's in the school system, the regular public school system. And yeah, they they do year-long school. They just have a bunch of breaks.
mm, interesting.
So,
I
yeah,
don't
I
know
don't
how I
know.
feel about that.
I don't have any opinion, honestly. I don't
Yeah.
I have no I mean, I would have to experience it to have any sort
Yeah.
of feedback.
Same.
Um, I think for some kids that like maybe like a generator or
Mm,
that would be that would be fine because then they're just consistently going through and then they have periods of breaks. But I feel like maybe for like, the non-sacrals, I don't know, but it's like they have a lot of breaks, but they're just not like the bigger gaps, not like
right.
the big gap like summer.
Like months at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know. I have no opinion. I just thought of it and I thought I'd
Yeah.
throw it out there. Um, so last weekend I did what's called it's an expo called Spiritual Fusions. It's so weird because I remember one day when we first moved here, driving past the place where they hold this expo at, and I saw the sign that said Spiritual Fusions, like psychic and spirituality event and blah blah blah. I was like, oh, I want to go to that. I was like, what is
Mhm.
that? And then I met a friend that is a vendor there. She sells things. She's the one that made Nina that made us our body graph grids.
Mhm.
And she's like, oh wait, no, I met somebody else, and then I met Nina there. That's right. I met a generator has the channel of community that literally she was supposed to just take me there. I literally stopped talking to her right after this event. She just very, very emotional, going through a lot of stuff. And I'm just like, I
Mhm.
can't, you know, I have an open solar plexus. If there's drama with emotionals and she was like, emotionally constipated. No offense, just is. I have no opinions when people like, we all have our shit,
you know?
Yeah.
But I realized, oh, there's a lot of red flags. I'm not interested in that situation. So, but I wasn't meant to meet her. Like I was meant to meet her. She was like the bringer of
Right.
the
To introduce
situation.
you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she needed to bring me into the community. Basically, that's what happened, which I'm very grateful for
Yeah.
because then I met Nina and we connected and she's a vendor there. She makes a lot of just like spirituality tools. Like she has crystal grids. Like I got her to make us a body graph grid. She's making a bunch of the cosmic community people body graph grids. And she makes jewelry. I'm like, oh, I wish I would have had time to go over and look. She's making these like infused copper rings with crystals inside them and a whole
Oh,
bunch of
cool.
jewelry. I don't know if you've seen it on her Instagram.
No, I haven't.
But I was like, man, it's probably best I didn't go over there because
You would have bought them all.
yeah. Um, but yeah, so I've been trying to get after I met Nina and she's actually very friendly with the owner and creator of Spiritual Fusions. She's a manifesting generator. I don't actually know her full design because she just told me, "Oh yeah, I'm a manifesting generator." And I'm like, "Of course
Mhm.
you are. You have to be
Mhm.
to do this."
Yeah.
I mean not have to be, but like the way she does it, I'm like it's very manifesting generator.
Mhm.
Um so and she's like, we don't have a human design reader because they do tables. So they have like readers and like then that like just like do like basically like speed readings. Like you pay for like a small percentage to just do like 15 minutes
Mhm.
or 30 minutes. She really only does 15 minutes for people, but because I'm a human, I don't know. She's like, I'll do 30 for you. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
So I had been trying to get into this for like the last year. Like I get on like this books up, especially the readers, the vendors don't book up as much as quickly, but I think lately they have been, but the readers tables, they only have this select space. You can't, and so it gets booked up in like less than a minute,
Wow.
less than a minute,
Cool.
and I never get in. I've tried to get in like 3 times, never get in, and so I put myself on the wait list. And then when I did that road opener spell last month, I got an email the next day from her saying a table opened up. Would you like that? I decided I wanted to give you the table. And I was like, really?
Yay.
She's like, yeah, there's nobody that does human design at these events.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh my. And I looked at my schedule. I was like, oh my gosh, that's the only weekend I have nothing going on. I was like, let's pile it up.
Let's fill up this open weekend. Why not?
so I so I ended up doing it last weekend and I ended up doing 52 readings.
It's
I got
crazy.
super, super booked up, and people were like coming to me and saying, I want to get a reading with you, and you're all booked up. And I was like, really? Because it's so interesting. I don't even know who's booking these readings. People go, they pay at the front, and then they bring this little tiny card over, and then I have a little box, and they just put the card in there, and then you just have to time the reading. So I have to like physically time the reading. I know I'm not going to keep track of 15 to 30 minutes, you know?
Right.
So but it was just so cool because I didn't have to really do anything. I didn't have to go anywhere. I was just being a generator. Everybody comes to me
Mhm.
and like then I just hit the timer and we talk for 15 to 30 minutes and then I say goodbye. And then it's like kind of like speed dating, but
That's cool.
but for readings. And also I have a whole list of emails here that I need to I need to send them stuff so that they can get on our stuff because they're super super interested. It's so interesting when you meet people in person, and you
Mm-hmm.
get like a real chance to explain themselves and what this system is all about. And just like there was a lot of crying. The projectors for sure. They were the most appreciative, I would say, obviously. Like they just
Mm-hmm.
are. You guys are just like really good at recognizing people. One projector was like, what can I do to give you the best testimonial in the world?
Oh,
And I was like, you can just DM it to me if you want, and I'll put it on where all the rest of mine are. And she's like, this is just like, I am impressed. She goes, I am just like your whole setup, and like you're just so professional. I was like, well, I'm like, this is my business.
Yeah. That's so nice.
So yeah, but I guess like, some people that do that, they kind of, it's more of a casual thing for them. I'm like, no, this is like literally my life. Like when people like, they're like, I'm like, human design is my life. That's
living,
just
breathing, all of it.
Yeah. So that was really, really fun. I definitely want to do another one. They're actually, so because they're so busy, she's actually moving to a bigger location at one of the community colleges over here.
Wow, that's cool.
So, and then she's going to start doing lectures. And
Ooh.
so I think I'm going to do a lecture.
Cool.
So she also invited me. Actually, can you give me a little guidance? I'm unsure about what to do here because, so, I have my horse farm friend, right?
Mhm.
So we had talked about possibly doing riding today, and I'm supposed to help her with her horse thing tomorrow. She's doing these group sessions. She's also a therapist. So she actually has created this whole thing with a lot of I'm trying to think of what it's called. She has a whole thing where people come in, she gets hired out. She gets a group of people that come in, and she helps them heal through the horses, basically, in a nutshell. Okay. So she wants me to start helping her with those. And then potentially doing retreats. We've been talking about maybe start trying a day retreat in the summer. And so, things are moving a lot, and there's a lot of opportunities coming at me. I don't know what to do. And which is like weird because I don't usually get like this many opportunities all at once. And then like we have all of our things going on top of that. And then my readings, I'm just like, when do I breathe? But I'm just like, we'll keep going. It's fine. We're going to see how much we can handle. That's what, my undefined root loves it. Loves to just see how much can we actually handle. The truth is maybe not a lot. I don't know. So, we had talked to potentially doing writing today, but then the MG that I was just talking, the manifesting generator that I was just talking about that runs the events, it seems like, I don't know, she really likes me. She believes in me. I can tell she sees me. She told me when at the end of the weekend, she's like, we got really great feedback from you, from people that you read for, girl. Like a lot. Like people love you. And I was like, really? That's a thing? Okay. So then she messaged me the other day and said, we're doing a meetup for all the people in the expo and the people that do the expo, if you want to come meet us at this restaurant on Thursday. And I was like, shit. I'm like, I'm supposed to go do the riding, but I'm also going to do the riding thing tomorrow for her group. And I had said maybe to do riding after that. So I'm like, should I just talk to Julie? Her name's Julie, and just be like, hey, I have this opportunity. I think I might go do that if we could do writing tomorrow after our thing, because I'm going to still commit to that, obviously. But I'm just like, what do I do? Do I not go to this meet thingy and go to the writing because I had already said that? Or do I talk to her and say, hey, can we move it to tomorrow since I'm already seeing you tomorrow? Or I don't know.
I feel like if you talk to her, then you could like tell her about the opportunity, like how great the weekend was and what it could open up for you, and ask if it's okay if you do the two.
Yeah.
It sounds like
call her.
Yeah. It sounds like there's options for both. And if she can't move it, then
Julie's pretty laid back.
Yeah.
She's
and
an
the
Aquarius.
horses are going to be there.
The horses are going to be there. The thing is lately when I make plans with her, some stuff starts to come up, and then I've had to move stuff around, and I don't want her to think, because I'm not a flaky person.
Right.
You know that. But there's just so much happening.
No, you could just explain that. Just say, my defined heart is struggling right now with what to make a decision on, and I have these options coming up, and I'd really like to know if it's okay if we shift or something like that.
Yeah. Because I had another experience, as you know.
If you have a third date on Thursday.
No, 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 no. I'm talking about if you like with somebody else that I was going to do classes for that studio.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got overbooked one time with between them and another thing.
Yeah.
And then there was some emotional stuff that
Yeah.
seemed to come up on their end. And I was just like, I'm not having that.
Yeah.
I'm just at the point where I'm not dealing with anyone's bullshit. Like I take responsibility for the fact that I don't understand time. I just don't. I feel like everybody knows this at this point with me. I do my best. I make mistakes, but what I won't deal with is passive aggressive bullshit.
Yeah.
Where like just a lot of not self stuff. Like it's gonna come out, but like I'm not once I start seeing red flags with people, because I've tend to in the past find myself in relationships where there's a lot of fixing internally that needs to be done. And then like it's almost like I'm holding their emotional bags for them and taking responsibility for them. I've noticed in a lot of past relationships, and I'm not doing that anymore.
No.
Like I need people that are on my level. Like you're honest, upfront, we're all doing work in some way, but we're not projecting it onto other people. I can't do that anymore. And I can't fix you. That's something that I've learned. I mean, you know that as guilt. Like you can't fix anybody. You can't that doesn't want to be helped. And you really can't fix anybody. I can guide you, support you. That's what my design does. But I'm not going to hold your hand through every step of the fucking way. And I'm not going to hold your bags either.
Yeah, that's the biggest part. It's like, I didn't come into the relationship with my arms out saying, here, let me take this for you.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's what like I said, I've sat with myself. Like like right now with the eclipse, it's really about taking responsibility for yourself and looking back at a lot of difficult past experiences and in relationships, especially because there's like the new nodal axis that we're moving towards. We're in like the border of transition of the old to the new right now. And I feel like, the new axis that we're moving towards, Libra and Aries, is all relationship focused. That's what that axis is. And so we're kind of in a transition of with the Taurus Scorpio axis, like moving towards a better way for ourselves. Taurus really wants you to embrace the fullness of self in life. But we have to shed our scorpion skin. And in the process of that, in this transition, we're also like, well, what about me? Like the Aries is like the new moon Aries in the North Node's like, well, what about me? What about the little me that needed to be nurtured and cared for? How do I come back to that? So we got a lot of moving parts right now.
And so interesting to hear it in that way too, because you can look at things and be like, oh, it's new moon Aries, whatever. But the way you just explained it is kind of like makes so much more sense how the pieces kind of fit together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all there and it's all happening to all of us right now. And I'm just like, because I have all this awareness, I'm not going backwards.
No.
I can't go backwards and I can't have those kind of relationships anymore. As I always say, I would much rather be alone, which I am really. I'm completely honest about this. I don't have a lot of like friends. I have a lot of obviously people that I associate with, acquaintance more so. I really hold at this point friendship to a very high standard for me to consider you a friend. Because I've been burned way as a third line. I've been burned way, way too many times. And I take responsibility for the ways I've fucked up too. But I think because I wasn't really loving myself to the fullest capacity, that I had to be shown that in the relationships that I had in the past, and I'm in a very different place now. And so I refuse to go back to those types of relationships because I am not that person anymore.
Mm-hmm. I feel the same.
So
Yeah.
are you having anything come up with you in relationships?
No, not currently. Can't speak for what's going to happen in the future. I think mine is all just with myself. It's all physical.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of the eclipses do, is brings, that kind of stuff to the surface. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any sort of, I think it's mostly with myself. It's a lot of like the inner work kind of stuff that I didn't realize I hadn't worked on yet. And just going through that and recognizing and like allowing myself to feel what it feels like and what those patterns are, have what they've come up as, and like how to move past them and stuff. So nothing like life shattering. Like I feel mentally fine, I guess, as fine as you can. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot happening, but it's like, I mean, we're all on our own path, going through different things.
Yeah.
And you're
There's some days where I get into my little my bitter projector self. I'm like, no one checks in on me. But I'm like, everybody is going through something. Like,
I know.
Don't be selfish, like we can all just have a conversation. And, so that's what I have to remind myself, like, okay, don't be bitter Betty. You'll be fine.
You do check on more people probably than they check on you.
Yeah, I
as
check
a
in on a lot of
projector.
people. Mm-hmm. As guilt and a projector, I'm always just like, hey, how's it going?
Line. Yeah.
Fourth line.
Yeah.
And I always reroute the conversation too, because they're like, how are you? I'm like, I'm fine. The kids are doing this, that, and I never talk about myself. And then I'm like, so tell me about this other thing.
Every once in a while, you'll be like, I have to say this.
Yeah.
But it's not.
I went off on my dental hygienist for some reason. Like the worst place that you could go to like have a deep conversation about
you cannot have deep conversations while they're in your mouth.
She's like, so how's it going? I'm like, well, I don't know. So we had like a half an hour conversation before the appointment even started about my shoulder. And I was like, I'm sorry for like offloading onto you during this appointment. She's like, oh, it's totally fine. She's like, I understand. We're like friends anyway. So I just hadn't talked to her in a long time.
Oh, okay. That's a little different.
I wasn't like offloading my private information onto my dental hygienist.
I did have a I'm like, I don't know why. I was like, you're talking about your dental hygienist, but there was this one guy. I used to go to this place for years, and he was always I don't know how it always happened. I always ended up with him, and he had to have like potentially like the 3536, the 1156, the 1333, one or all of those. And just like always had the craziest stories, or maybe even the 2551. But like I always looked forward. Like I really don't like going to the dentist at all. But I always look forward to his stories, and now I don't get to hear them anymore. My mom still goes there, and every so often she has him, and she's like, he asks about you. It's like, oh, I totally forgot his name.
It's funny.
But yeah, and I'm like, you can't really have a conversation with.
No. Yeah, it takes a long time / is one-sided, and you just can give a short answer.
Yeah. I took Milo to the dentist last week, and Otis came with us, obviously, because I had to take him, and I let him bring in his little fruit snacks, and he goes, Mommy, can you open he calls them, are you guys ready for this? He calls them toot snacks. And if you ever like, need a little giggle or you're feeling bad, just think about my child asking for toot snacks. Okay. Because it literally is the cutest thing you've ever heard. This kid he needs to be like a comedian when he gets older, or something. He needs front and center in front of something. I don't know. But he goes, Mommy, you open my toot snacks. And then the dental hygienist goes, did I just hear him say toot snacks? And I said, yes. And she goes, that is the cutest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's like it is.
Gosh.
And you should hear him on a regular basis. He also has, we're not sure what this thing is. It started a little while back. I keep meaning to actually talk about it, and then we'll transition into what's going on this week, guys. I know we were talking about nothing, but so this is my 1-3 sacral generator, by the way, my 3-year-old. He has been referring to something, we're not sure what it is, as gai. He goes, gai, mommy? I was like, no, but we're realizing that gai is like either God, like maybe that's the name of God, gai, or like a deity, also potentially an imaginary friend, which makes sense. He's a Libra. So, and yeah, he just keeps that but it's a secret. He won't tell anybody who gai is. And everybody's kind of gai though. Like he'll say, you're gai. You're gai now, mommy. I was like, oh, I'm gai. And then he thinks it's like the funniest thing. And he says, I funny. But he won't tell any of us who gai actually is. I think it's God. I'm like, it's God. This guy is literally God. That's what we're talking about here. But it's also kind of his alter ego.
So crazy. That's awesome. For 3, like he's you get
very,
to see like the full
is such a personality, this kid.
Yeah.
Way more than, I mean, Milo did, but like, I don't know if it's just because he's a generator, Otis. It's just way more expressive and bigger. And he has an undefined throat, but he's very just like, he knows a lot. He knows a lot. And he's very like independent. He goes and gets his own water. He'll go and get his own snacks because he's high sound, and that kid is going to eat me out of the house. When he's a teenager, I'm going to have to make the millions because
don't already shop at Costco's. You probably should.
I feel like we don't have Costco. I think we have Sam's Club, but it's not very close. It's not very close, but I might have to get a membership there or whatever.
Yeah. He'll just be, that's how Olivia is right now. I swear she's growing like 7 inches because does not stop eating. And then Olivia, Corinna, who is the tiny projector, she's like, she won't eat much of anything. And I'm like, you're the one that needs to have more food because you're shrinking.
Because you're shrinking. I don't know, non-sacrals. And then, but is she left brain?
Oh gosh.
I know. Like, don't ask me these things.
Yeah. I think so.
Oh, wait, she's calm, right? So she's left brain.
I'm pretty sure they both are left.
Yeah. So she does need to be consistently eating, maybe not consuming as much as her MG sister. Generators, I think, just need to be fueling more. Yeah. Like we just need, because we have to be constantly working in some way, right? So we do need to fuel our energy, but depending on left or right brain, it'll tell you how consistent. If you're left brain, consistent, you need to be consistently throughout your day fueling yourself because you are active brain, right? You need to be actively eating, taking in. But if you're right brain, you're passive, you need to be a little bit more. Your brain does not need as much energy. It's not working as, it's not active, passive. So you guys don't need as much. A lot of people can do like intermittent fasting for right brain people. I can't do that as a left brain. I will just pass out. So
I love my food. I do love food, but I don't feel like I need it as often.
Yeah. Dave is the same way.
Yeah. Olivia needs it all the time, consistent. She's like, I'm bored. I'm hungry. I'm like, that's your sacral telling you that you need energy. Let's go outside. Like instead of eating a bag of Cheetos, which I don't have in the house anyway, because I don't want her snacking
garbage snacks in the house.
No, if there's junk in the house, she'll eat it all.
Oh, so
I removed it, and then we just have like good stuff in here and fruits and veggies and that kind of stuff. And if she doesn't want any of that, then she's not really hungry.
Or pretzel, like I get those like flat pretzels. I forget what they're called.
Oh, those are so good. Anyway.
But like, like it's okay to have some carbs, especially, I mean, kids, they definitely need it because they're moving so much. But it's like, no, I don't do chips. We don't do chips in this house. But I don't mind pretzels or crackers. Like they like those snap peas,
Oh yeah.
those freeze-dried snap peas,
Yep.
stuff like that. I mean, every so often, like Milo, because he watches a lot of those YouTubers, unfortunately, and they eat a lot of crap. No offense. I don't know why I'm saying no offense either. Who cares? My open solar plexus. I don't want to offend anybody. I'm constantly offending though. I have a defined heart. Just existing offends people. But anyways, yeah. So he'll every so often he'll see like soda. Like we don't do soda in the house. He's literally never had Coke. This kid.
No.
I know that that's like a rarity. I've let him have Sprite before. Because of his like tummy issues, which now he has developed a I don't know if it's an allergy or just like a sensitivity more so to dairy, where he is consecutive and he can't handle the dairy right now, or I don't know. So now we have basically eliminated dairy, and it's super annoying because this kid already doesn't only eats specific things anyways. And
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. Because as a vegetarian slash semi-vegan, I'm like a vegan until dessert. Or if you put brie in front of me, then I will eat it. But like, I mix a lot. I'm kitchen's environment, and I like to mix a lot of different vegetables and different things together. He cannot do that. So I'm like, I don't know what to make for you anymore.
Yeah.
Like if it what because he used to eat like grilled cheese, like simple, like kid stuff, but he can't do that anymore. And I'm like, do I need to learn how to like make like cashew cheese or something?
Yeah. Would he know the difference though? Because it's so
He doesn't mind. Like
specific.
I've given him some vegan cheeses and he likes them actually.
Interesting.
But it's just one, it's expensive. It's a lot of more work when it comes to that stuff. And you got to also just be careful with that, like with all the ingredients they put in like a lot of the vegan cheeses and stuff like that. So
does he like Alfredo sauce or pasta and Alfredo or anything?
well, that's dairy.
No, but you could make it cashew. You could make a cashew Alfredo sauce.
I don't know if he's never tried Alfredo. I don't know if he will. He's in his tonal resonance is also taste, just for fun, to make it more complicated, because I noticed he goes through phases of foods where he will only eat a certain food, and then all of a sudden he'll tell me, I don't want that anymore, mommy. And I'm like, damn it. That we were just going for that food for a long time, and now we're done with it. Okay. So
you have to find something different.
Yeah, like consecutive or appetite people in general, super fucking annoying. No offense to you guys. Like you only eat nothing. So like when he was like a little baby, it was easier because it was like he would only eat just avocado, or he primarily just had breast milk, and he was just pretty much fine with just that. He didn't want to do a lot of foods. But he would only do like 3 foods. And so I would just rotate through those foods. But now like it's getting smaller. And then he also won't try things because he's a manifester and appetite. And again, I said tonal resonance taste. So he's very, very particular. So we're working on it. I'm not a huge cook. I don't have the time for that or the patience, to be honest. I just don't. I don't. It's more so because I don't have the time. I don't want to do it. If I don't have the time at my undefined roots, like I don't have the time for that. There's no way for my sacral to commit to something like that, or my heart.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're working on it. This is newly developed. It started last month. And so, because he was getting a lot of stomach issues, and I'm like, we need to simplify. And I'm like, I can smell that it's dairy. I'm like, it's dairy. Dave's like, I don't know if it's dairy. I'm like, Dave, it's dairy. I was like, every time he eats dairy, that seems to be when he's most impacted. So I was like, we got to eliminate the dairy and see what happens. So we've eliminated the dairy for this last month, and his stomach seems to be better now. But now it's just annoying with and then going places. When we go places, I'm like, damn it. You can't just have like, the kids' food because all of that has dairy in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, that's tough.
we're working on it. He'll only eat certain types of chicken. Basically, very, very simple. So, anyways, that's my story. We're going to move on to what's going on this week. Not a
Okay.
lot is last week, obviously. We had a lot happening last week, but things are rolling into this week. Okay. So, let's jump in. So, we start off this week with a focus on caring for ourselves, but in a new way. Obviously, we just had the eclipse. And after just having this eclipse and now being also in Mercury retrograde, okay, we are being asked to reflect on the energy it takes to find nourishment and fulfillment from within. And we are being grounded in our intuition. There's a lot of intuition going to be coming up this week. Okay. That's really the focus of this week is our intuition in a lot of ways. So we're being grounded on in our intuition on what is worth putting our energy into, what is worth the struggle, what is the purpose might be a question you begin to ask yourself this week as you look backwards. You will begin to see some pieces that might have been missing lately. And we do have a root pressure that's helping us go through almost like this growth spurt right now. That's kind of what we're going through is a growth spurt. And so that's what this eclipse has been all about, growing into this next version of you and releasing the staleness and worn out ways of self. This is a cyclical process to begin again. And we do have an emotional surge that is helping us look back at our past experiences to begin to express things in a new way. Thursday, we get a new program with a focus on our mind, which makes sense with Mercury retrograde and trying to conceptualize and process something complex. So often we, with this energy, it will circle and circle and circle and circle back to the same thing over and over again until it sees something new. And so, it had to come in during the Mercury retrograde. And so we are being grounded in, again, our intuition and an instinct that looks backwards. It's so interesting when like hit a Mercury retrograde and then this program comes in, of course. And so we're now looking backwards to move forwards. We need to look at past memories to see and circle back, circle, 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 circle. That's what the energy of this program does when this comes in. It's actually my notes for this program. So it has to keep continually look back so that it can kind of know what's working, what's not working, what needs to be shifted or changed. And that's kind of like where we're going to be this week. Like what needs to move? What do we need to see? What haven't we been looking at? Those are going to be the questions that are going to come up for you this week. So watch where you are overanalyzing every little thing because it's going to feel like that way. It's going to feel it. You're going to be like, oh, why do I keep looking at this thing? So watch where you're overanalyzing every little thing and really allow for your intuition to take the front seat. Now, intuition lives in the spleen. So if you are open in the spleen, really get clear on where others energy may be clouding this judgment. Okay. Find ways, if you know what your cognition is, to really allow your body to tap into that. So for example, I am smell cognition. So often when I'm working on a lot of processing, which is clearly what this week is all about, I have certain aromas. I have like roller balls that I use that I've either created or purchased and do a whole ritual based situation with that. And so it is through smell that turns my vehicle on. So I put a smell on. I'll put it on my wrists, all the places we like to put a roller ball. So I'll do that. And then I'll inhale and I'll just close my eyes. And often, because of that, I will be shown what I need to see. Your cognition like allows you and allows energy and frequency to penetrate your brain so that it can turn on right? So that you can allow yourself to move in this physical world and see what you need to see. Move your vehicle to the right environment to get the right perspective so that you can conceptualize things in the way that you do, so that you can be an outer authority for other people. But without the cognition, without direction, because that's what cognition gives you. It gives actually the energy a direction. Cognition is actually what tells our brain which direction the arrow points in, if you didn't know. If it's left brain or right brain, it's through your cognition. So for me, when I allow smell to penetrate my aura, it allows things to move a little freely. That's what cognition really does. It allows things to move where they need to go. Because when your cognition doesn't get turned on, what happens is the energy bypasses the vehicle and it transfers. You can't see clearly in transference, right? You'll never be in the correct environment in transference. So it's important that you allow yourself to tap into these senses. You have one strong, really strong sense that allows you to turn on. And also you can, if you want to be an advanced version, use your tonal resonance on top of that. I like to hold certain crystals. I have tonal resonance touch. So when I'm allowing, like, allow yourself to maybe sit with yourself, maybe meditate, maybe just close your eyes for a bit, but use these places that are already inside of you. Use your cognition, use your tonal resonance to really tap into places to unlock parts of you that you won't be able to do. So really allow this week to take you to all the places that might need more love, might need a little more clarity, and then don't make a whole lot of choices in regards to pretty much anything until Mercury goes direct on May 14th. Now, if you made choices before it went retrograde, which was what, the 21st of April, if you made any choices before that, then that's different. The thing is, like, people are like, oh, I can't make decisions or whatever during a Mercury retrograde. Well, some things might depend on, did you create these plans before the Mercury retrograde happened? Because if that did, then it's okay. A lot of times I'm like, oh, Mercury retrograde's coming up. Let me see things that I need to get done now, or like appointments that I need to make or whatever. Do all those things before Mercury goes retrograde, which right now it's too late because we're already in retrograde. But for the next one, because we're moving into summer. That's when all the retrogrades start to happen. So keep that in mind for when we go backwards again. So that's all I got for this week. It's a pretty simple week. Stay connected, tap into your intuition, and that's it.
Well, the cards back all of that up. I pulled the 10 of Swords. So that one is about circling, looking at the things that are happening in your life, walking away from things that aren't serving you anymore, letting things go, letting the baggage go, putting down the baggage, letting go of limiting beliefs. And it's a 10. So 10 is the endings. So the 10 is the last number in the numerology, where it's like this cycle is complete now. This cycle is ready to be closed. I was going to read from my book here because this is a random crystal. I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but you could try and find it. Or here, let me show my YouTube friends right here. It's sort of like reddish brown. That's terrible. I'm sorry. It's called aragonite, and it's connected to the solar plexus. So it's just about supporting you through promoting patience and helping you find answers in the moment. So say you don't have this crystal, but you are looking for some answers. And Krystle said, like, look at the patterns that are happening, look at what things are coming up for you right now, and allow yourself to find some answers, but you don't have to make any like decisions or choices right now. Like, allow this time for you to kind of, let the things present themselves to you during the retrograde period, and see what needs to be reviewed, what needs to be reassessed. So then the second card I pulled goes along with it. It's called Doubt. And it says, I release the need to know all the answers, which hella accurate. It's important for the human brain to comprehend the mysteries of the universe. You are only consciously aware of the 3 dimensions for a reason, and that is to learn to love without the full awareness of your connection to spirit. Everyone has his or her own personal path to this awareness, and there is no right or wrong answer as long as your goal is to manifest the energy of love and compassion. The wisdom of the divine trickles into the physical dimension, and some of it will resonate with your soul and some will not. These are your signposts that guide you to your correct path. So, like you said, cognition, transference. And if the wisdom resonates with you and seems right, then keep it. And if not, then release it back to the universe. Always be aware and mindful of the insights that your spirit guides and teachers put on your path.
Yeah.
Basically duplicating what you said.
I think a lot of people don't pay attention to those little nudges from the universe. And that's why I think having the awareness of the transits allows you to kind of open your eyes to that.
Yeah.
In Kabbalah, they say you only see 1% of what's actually happening here, which is nothing, like literally nothing. That's why life is just so confusing, because you really can't see everything. And it's like, if we could see everything, then it could probably stop us from being free in a lot of ways. But I think having the awareness of the transits and using it as a tool can give you a little bit more of a guiding post. Be like, hey, here's what's happening right now. Here's the energy that you're working with. You make the choice now what you want to do with it, because we can still make the wrong choice. But I feel like for me as a 1-3, having the transits, it's just made it so much easier to just live my life according to my design, because I can kind of see, oh, I'm feeling this way because of this, or this circumstance is coming up because of this. And it allows you to kind of surrender a little bit more, because we try to resist a lot. And yeah. So just let yourself wander this week. Your mind is going to fucking wander. It's like we're Mercury retrograde. We got some, mental pressure happening. So, root pressure. And then our intuition's like, okay, let me see what's going on. What's going on?
Yeah.
So just see what comes up, but this is not necessarily the time to fully make sense of it. It's just to watch it, take some notes, reflect. If you get an aha moment, which you might this week, with a lot of the intuition coming in, write it down, and then kind of like let it play out. This is not Mercury retrogrades, like we've talked about, not the best time to make decisions unless you've already kind of made it before the Mercury retrograde started.
Yeah.
But it only lasts for about a month. Mercury retrogrades, they go pretty fast.
Right.
So just be.
Yeah. Just let it be.
So we hope you guys have a great week. We are going to be opening up doors to the cosmic community again on May 1st for anyone that's interested. And we're basically also changing the format of this. So things are going to be a little different for the next program. And we'll let you guys know all about that once we get there. So I guess we'll see you over on the next one.
We'll see you later. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Krystle and I are really here as defined hearts to provide value to you with our unique insights. If you have found any of this episode valuable to you, we ask that you share with a friend, tag us with a highlight on Instagram, and write us a review so we can reach more people. Human design and astrology are tools to guide us toward our transformation. You are a unique and beautiful being, and we encourage you to let that light inside of you shine bright. See you in the next episode, friends.